chair now recognizes Dr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Ranking Member. Thank you to our witnesses for being here today. Today's hearing comes a few days before the CDC's moratorium will allegedly end, and I say allegedly because the CDC has already extended the ban multiple times. Let me be clear, the CDC's moratorium is one of the most blatant power grabs that we've seen in the course of the pandemic. The CDC has assumed that it had the authority to do essentially whatever it wanted, no matter what the law said, and no matter how tenuous the connection to public health. The CDC moratorium is an offense to two fundamental cornerstones of our republic: federalism and states' rights. Congress never passed a law allowing the CDC to ban evictions. But there's more than just that. Congress could not delegate this power to the federal government even if it wanted to. Even a generous reading of the Commerce Clause does not give Congress the power to do this. That's our constitutional system of government. And how can we claim private property rights if the federal government can just come in and tell you that you cannot enforce the terms of a basic contract? This is one of the most shameless cases of bureaucracy gone rogue that I have ever seen. And I'm not sure how an eviction moratorium prevents the spread of COVID-19. The eviction moratorium is almost identical to what government has done to healthcare. Let me explain. As more renters are subsidized with government dollars, landlords, especially mom and pop small business landlords who have maybe one or two or three properties, they have to cost shift to other people. They cost shift to other renters, and that drives up the price of overall rent. And you add to that the inflation caused by the increased dollars in the economy with the current administration's economic policies, rapidly increasing rates, rapidly increasing inflation. You basically get a horrible spiral that's occurring right now in our economy. And a tertiary effect is also possible, or is also there and real. These small rental companies can't generate the revenue to produce to cover the losses. So what do? They get out of business. All the small companies get out of business. All you're left with, large, huge rental companies, because they can absorb the losses. Let there be no doubt, this is destroying everyday Americans who put their savings into owning a rental property. It is driving the price of rent up. It is driving up inflation. And it is harming low-income Americans, just like health care, just like government intrusion into health care. And here's another example of something that is contributing to these, at least increase in prices in my state, in the state of Tennessee. People are leaving California, Illinois, and New York because of Democrat liberal policies just like this. You know what they're doing? They're buying houses off the market in Tennessee, sight unseen, off the internet, driving the price of properties in my state through the roof. Why? Because of failed liberal policies in places like California, New York, and Illinois. Great examples of just this kind of stupidity. It's another example of well-meaning politicians who wind up destroying the very thing they want to save. We see it in healthcare. I ran a healthcare company. I'm a physician. What do? They intrude on the doctor-patient relationship. And now they're intruding on the renter-rentee relationship, the landlord-lendee relationship. And we're seeing it everywhere. These small companies going out of business, they put their life savings into buying 2 or 3 rental properties to get a little bit ahead, and now they can't cover their losses. Mr. Griffin, I probably have only time for one question here. I'm concerned that the eviction moratorium is detrimentally impacting small landlords. The debt they're being saddled with could seriously impact them, not just in the short term, but in the long term. Would improvements to the distribution of emergency rental assistance funds help small property owners recover from the pandemic?